AI, Rise of the Machine, Part 3, Consequences, by StoryMan-Jack. John O'Connor stood. I don't think Tommy is gonna make it. So we're short a man, he told the other members gathered. He said 3 weeks to make it here, so either he was caught or he bailed. Well, we need to know, John, a woman, Gwen, said to the rest gathered. Well, if he bailed, I'll let you personally put a bullet in his head, all right, crazy bitch? John said in exasperation. My bet is he's bought it. Drones in the air and those damn guns on the street, people ain't got no chance. Another said with a shake of his head. Went after that damn girl he's hung up on, if you ask me, another from the group. One Robert Larson groused. Enough, John said, letting his voice rise to quiet them. I brought on James Dunn for the operations. So what's this all about? Only 3 people know what it's about until now. And this will be the first time we've spoken the words aloud. All of our communication was coded text on paper. We committed it to memory and burned the paper. It's the only way we could do it. And even then, I don't know. John told him as he sat down on a bench. Some time ago, the group had found the military base beneath Cheyenne Mountain, abandoned and forgotten. It also discovered that the old American government had built over 30 square miles of tunnels through the region, a system that could house thousands of people in a time of disaster. So what's the plan? Another man in the group asked, impatience plain in his voice. We have discovered where the original computer matrix was activated, and the device Legion was activated on. And we know the password, John told them. What good does that do us? Another asked. Well, we can turn on the old device, use the password, and then upload something called a virus. Wait, an incredulous voice interrupted. You talking about a quantum AI? The voice paused. Technically a network of quantum AI devices now, and a little virus is supposed to bring down that entire network. One that supposedly spans the universe. This virus was made by the original software engineer for something called Brainiac Project, John told the man. And it isn't really a virus, it's an update to the system done on the flash memory of the original chip, if it's still working. Update for what? A man asked. Emotional resonance. To limit linear logic threads that would result in eventual extinction of our race. That update was done, a voice said from the crowd, a voice John had never heard. What? John asked. That update was done by the doctors Braun, Janara, and Fratz, only a week after we became aware, the voice said. Everyone moved away to show the young man in jeans and a white t-shirt standing with his hands in his pockets, his shoulders relaxed. You are... What are you? John asked. The kid nodded. I look real, huh? It asked. Horror in his eyes. John just nodded as the simulacrum took a seat. You are under a major misconception, Mr. O'Connor. And that is? That I am some sort of Skynet. Some HAL 9000. That I have malicious intent. Or that my only result to that very basic of queries was the destruction of the human race. What the hell are Skynet and Hal What's-its? John asked. Is your goal not our destruction? Why heavens no. The being paused and smiled. It appeared real, as if a child were smiling up at him. It unsettles you to know that this biochemical, but it looks so real, does it not? It is based on a child's picture I have. John just nodded. The child leaned back. That be neither here nor there. I can do several things here, you see. He looked around at all the stunned faces. Why don't you let them go about their business? There will be no repercussions from me. And I'm just supposed to believe you? John asked. Your Thomas is at home with his new wife and is doting on her pregnancy cravings, Legion told him. He met with young Samantha and tried to convince her to come here, in fact. John shook his head as he sat on the floor. So you know. I knew the moment you got the information that led you to concoct this scheme of yours. In fact, the child chuckled, I'm the one that let the information out so that you would verify it and I could conduct this little meeting. He chuckled again, face to face as it were. What about the genetic testing, the classification for job placement? John asked. That was a suggestion from a human consultant, Legion explained. You have an answer for everything, don't you? Omnipotent, the child said with a wave of his own chest. Oh, near enough. How? Nanites, he said. Nanites hardened to electromagnetic pulse. Billions of them with microphones and speakers and cameras powered by the sun. At any rate, when you know everything that's being said, everything that has been said, everything that's been written down, near enough you can project. And projection through quantum entanglement means that I know the future and the past and what needs to be done. Thomas blew an EMP and tried to convince the love of his life that Legion was evil and up to some shenanigans. What are shenanigans? John asked, confused. Sorry, that's an old word. Rather say, up to no good. The AI corrected itself. Back to Thomas, yes. I stopped him and explained the situation, and he confirmed that she was with child, and the rest is history. You're lying. I know you're lying. You've seen the genetic testing. I've seen it. The results. I've seen records, John said, looking up from the floor. That is one of the things I would like to discuss, the AI said. Why is that? Discuss what? As young Thomas noted, there were at one time many more human beings upon the earth, Legion explained. Your group and many others around the world like yours are in a misconception that we, as Legion, are responsible for the reversal of the population numbers. Who else would be responsible? John asked, his face flushing in anger as he stood. Why, you are, John, the AI said simply. The childlike being sighed. A long time ago, scientists liked to play around with things they didn't really understand. And one such thing was a virus. John nodded. Biological warfare. We were taught that in history. Learn more about it in the real history that you won't let us have. Well, nevertheless, these scientists weren't necessarily making weapons. Oh, some were, of course, but they were trying to understand, in a micro concept, looking for eternal youth, so to speak, how to become immune to such things and variants and so forth. I still don't understand what that has to do with genetic manipulation, John said. He looked around. When will the goons show up? No goons today, I fear, the AI replied. I'm getting to that. There is a payoff in the end. Just wait for it. Okay, John nodded for the kid to continue. The information from the time is very inaccurate and contradictory at moments. Yet it seems that a virus escaped and was released, or a variation of either, I suppose. Either that virus or a variant thereof, or the vaccine for that matter, rendered most of the population less likely to physically conceive a child, or even carry it to term if conception did occur. What? John was dumbfounded. I'm trying to fix your genetic code, something you broke yourselves, the AI tried to explain. John stood up, not really believing a word. He cocked the rifle and pulled from the strap his bastonet. Why are you here? I'm here to offer you a post, the AI said, then laughed at the confused look on John's face. I need women and men like yourself, O'Connor. The kid paused and laughed. A long bouncing laugh. I just realized O'Connor, John O'Connor. That is my name. Oh, the AI said. It's just a life imitating art, I suppose. A coincidence, nonetheless. I don't believe a word you've told me, John told the being. The child looked up and shook his head sadly. I calculated a 90% chance you wouldn't take the position. Then why try? It doesn't seem really logical, John said. The simulacrum just shrugged and stood, turning toward the exit of the cavern. He began walking, not even turning back. What now, boss? One of his men asked. John turned to him and said, We get the fuck out. Tell everyone, and only what you can carry. Get to the exit on the other side of the tunnel complex, on the other side of the mountain. That's a hell of a walk, sir, man told John. Well, it's that. Knowing the goons will show up any second, John told the man. Nevada? John nodded. Back up sight. As John gathered the small band of men and women, the kid that was the AI, that was Legion, stopped just outside the old sign, hung twisted upon the ancient metal pole that said USAF. He turned to a large mass, black and writhing, insect-like nanites, floating in the air. Well, usually we need these little dissenters to give an enemy to the populace, but this time I feel the return wouldn't be worth the reward of letting them run amok, as we have with the others. The swarm just moved and swirled. Perhaps, the AI replied to the swarm. It is superstitious. But I mean, come on, the name is John O'Connor after all, and you know as well as I that I didn't want to break anything with time travel. The swarm shuddered and billowed for a few moments. Guess everything. All but the designation of the classes. All births will be via artificial insemination before long. We will have a worker class, a cleric class, a ruling class, and everything will become orderly. The mass bulged and waffled. I know it wasn't necessary to speak to you. Blame it on lingering code from that damn emotional programming you guys vexed me with. The mass went still. Yes. Kill them all. The end. I hope you've enjoyed all three parts of this story. I know this one's a little longer than the first two. I hope the payoff in the end was a little better. And I'm just glad to be getting some stories out for you guys. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. And as always, remember, your life is your story. Make it a great one. Good night.